So welcome back to Rephotography. This is Gary, le voyageur du passé. Yes, please visit voyageurdupassé.com. I'll give you the website towards the end of the video. Today, I want to look at maybe what most people consider the most challenging aspect in creating these merged images, which is merging the two images together. So this is the image I recently created, which is in Annecy, once again within the French Alps. And for those that have never visited Annecy, if ever you get the opportunity to visit Haute-Savoie or Savoie, even Geneva, then absolutely recommend a visit to Annecy. A beautiful town, considered the Venice of France, and so much history to be seen there. So anyway, let's get started. So here is the postcard as I obtained it. And first thing I'm going to do is crop this and get rid of those borders. So taking this in. Now I'm going to convert this to black and white. Just press the black and white button here. And I'm going to look at the different profiles that are available. And I've got three that I've already selected as my preferred options: black and white 1, 5, and 8. 1, 5, 8. And black and white 1 is my preferred option here. Now, the thing to remember is we're only going to be using the bottom half of this postcard, as the top half is going to be replaced by the present image. So it's this section that interests me most. Now I can vary the amount that impacts this image in this section here, the amount. So I'm going to keep that at actually 110. So close that. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at reducing some of that noise. So increase the luminance marginally, but drop the detail down. Now, I don't totally want to eliminate all the noise, as it would remove some of the detail in the image. And also, I feel that having the noise gives it a certain level of authenticity. So I'm going to keep that as it is, and I will just go into the transform section, auto, and see if there's any modifications. So I'm good with that now. So one of the things with this image, if I press I, we'll see that this is only 679 by 1000 pixels. This is much too small. So the first thing I'm going to do to increase the size is use the enhance. So right click, enhance, enhance, and this is going to create the DNG file, as you can see in the top left there. So if I go into library, DNG, there's the image, which is now, press I, you can see 1358. So we've improved this, but I feel it's still insufficient. So this is where I'm going to take it into Upscayl, one of my favorite programs for upscaling images. And the thing is, it's free and does a tremendous job. So right click, edit in, Upscayl. Now here, it depends on how you have configured your preferences. You need to look into the external editor section, and I've got Adobe Photoshop as my primary and Upscayl as my secondary. So I'm going to click Upscayl, and it's going to invoke Upscayl and start the program. Okay, so Upscayl has started, and now we need to select the image. So here's the enhanced version. Open this, and you have the option of various models that you can use for the upscaling. I use the General Photo Remacry model, and then how much you want to upscale If I upscale by 3x, it's going to take my image to 4000 by 6000, which is adequate. So press the button and it's going to upscale. So there we are. Upscale has completed the image. And when we compare, I think we see an improvement in the definition within the image. So again, very satisfied with how that looks. So now we can close Upscayl, back into Lightroom. Now we need to synchronize the folder. And you can see import new photos. That's the photo we've just created from Upscayl. I would love to see Upscayl incorporated within the Adobe suite. I'm dreaming, I think. So into JPEG, and there we see the image. We can see 4000 by 6400. So now this can be exported into Photoshop. Control E is going to take it into Photoshop. Now we need to select the present image, the photograph that you've created. And I use an option here to select the image that I don't see many other photographers using, which is the second window feature. So you press the number 2 in the bottom left, go into normal mode. Now it's important you lock this, as otherwise when you do look at other images, you are going to see those images reflected in that second window. This is our reference image. So now go into the raw. Now I know I took the photograph this year, so 2024, and these are the photographs I took of that location. Let's move the second window over, and we go through these. The one that I'm going to use is this one. So I've selected this as my photograph I'm going to use. I can close the second window. Now go into the develop module, and we're going to go through the process for this image. So again, I use the auto function, and typically I go into Adobe Landscape. I like the additional colors because again, excuse me, I think it gives a good contrast against the black and white image from the past. I'm going to reduce the highlights. No, sorry, increase the highlights. As again, this is the section we're going to use, and I find that in here, the sky, I'm not particularly happy with the sky. This might be a photograph I'd consider for sky replacement. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to proceed with this. So assuming I've completed all of my adjustments, the next thing I would do is the auto white balance. And the way to use this is look at the RGB just below the color picker, and you're aiming for it to be around about 60. So that's good enough. Select that, and that's made a fairly good choice. So I'm okay with that. I might add some texture, as again, the upper section of this is what we're going to see in the current image. And last thing I would do is auto transform to correct for any distortion due to parallax error. And I would be good with this. So now, again, Control E to take this into Photoshop. Okay, so here in Photoshop, we now have the two images. We have the present and we have the past. The way I merge the two together is Control A, select everything, Control C to copy, go to the present image, Control V. There we have it. So now we have the two layers. Now we need to go through the process of aligning these two. So I'm going to reduce the opacity of the current image around about 50%. Now, what's important here for me is the alignment of the wall here. Let me just switch this off. the alignment of the wall here and the building here, because those are the 2 points that are going to show if we have good alignment. So I'll switch this back on. So I want to align the past image, the walls there, and looking at the arch, that's a good reference point. But this is a major section that I need to look at. And it looks, I have to say, fairly good there. Maybe there. So let's try this. I'm going to accept that. Let's put the opacity back up to 100%. We have the mask. Now B for the brush, and D puts you in default for white and black. And I want to start with black. So to change from white to black, press X. I want my brush to be hardness of 0. I want 100% opacity, 100% flow. I'm going to increase the size of the brush. I want to start here. Just to see how well does that look. Looking at the building there, that's just about perfect. So looking at this image, I'm going to just slightly modify this here because I can see that the wall is not perfectly aligned, but that looks good to me, so we can accept that. Now I want to crop this. One of the things I do find is that it's distracting when we see so much more of the present image, and I'm going to restrict this to the size of the postcard. Bring this down. Control 0 will give us a full screen view of this. When I look at that, in terms of alignment, I'm very satisfied with the alignment of this. Now it comes down to personal choice as to what you want to keep included, what you want to remove. And that's just a case of going into the mask with B for brush, taking a brush, and then deciding which elements you want from the past and which from the present. Back into white, I'm going to hide this. I would actually probably stop there. We could continue to refine this, but I think you understand the approach now. One of the things I do like to do, go onto the mask, Alt and select, that's on a PC. And if you've got approximately 50% black, 50% white, that tells you you've got a good combination of the two. It's around about 50-50 combination, the past with the present. So I would save this and stop there, and then it's good for releasing. So I hope you found that beneficial. I should say this was really a basic introduction into that process. In a future video, I will go through a more detailed approach. There's ways that we can distort the images to compensate for differences between the two, but that's only on rare exceptions. If your initial positioning is good, then you should find you're able to do that, merging that alignment quite successfully. Now I'm going to leave you with other images I have of Annecy here, and I would of course appreciate a thumbs up on this, and please do subscribe. I'm going to be doing some more videos in the future. Thanks, and be with you again soon.